Have you ever really thought about how you introduce yourself at work? It seems like such a simple thing, right? But how you answer that question can actually say a ton about your culture. So today, we're going to dig into this really interesting idea. When we talk about our jobs, do we see ourselves as part of a group or more as an individual? Let's find out.
So, here's what we've got lined up. First, we're going to look at how people in Japanese and Western cultures introduce themselves. Then, you'll see how these differences actually pop up and how offices are designed. And finally, we'll talk about why understanding all of this is so important.
Okay, so let's jump right in. We're going to start with a really simple question.
Seriously, think about it for a second. You're meeting someone new. It's work-related. What's the first thing you say? Turns out, your answer can show a lot about where you come from, culturally speaking. All right, first up, let's talk about the typical style in Japan. The big idea to remember here is that the group, well, it often comes first. So a business person in Japan might introduce themselves by saying something just like this. See that? The company name is the first thing they mention. And what's super interesting about this is that the company name can actually be more important than their specific job. It's all about showing that you're part of a team, that you share the same duties as everyone else in the group. Okay, so let's flip it now and look at the style you'll probably find in many Western cultures. Here, things change quite a bit because the focus is really on the individual. So in this case, a person would probably lead with their job title. They're telling you what they do, not who they work for.
And the thinking behind this is that your identity at work comes from your own skills. It's your role, your abilities, that's what defines you, not so much the company name on your business card.
So let's put them side by side. You've got, I work for Sony, which is all about the group, and then you have, I am a software developer, which is all about the individual. It might seem like a small change in words, but wow, it points to a huge difference in how people see the world. And you know what's really cool? This difference isn't just about what people say. You can literally see it in the way their offices are set up. If you walk into a typical Japanese office, you'll probably see desks clustered together in big groups, almost like islands. There aren't many walls. This whole setup makes it super easy for the team to talk and help each other out. But then in a lot of Western offices, it's the opposite. You see more partitions, more cubicles. The idea is to give everyone their own private space so they can focus. So these introductions, the office layouts, they're all clues, right? They point to two really different ways of thinking about what's important at work. Let's break it down really simply. The Japanese style, it's all about the group. The main value is teamwork, and the open office layout helps make that happen. The Western style, on the other hand, tends to focus on the individual. The big value there is personal efficiency, and those separate desks and partitions are designed to help with that. Okay, so why are we talking about all this? What's the big deal? Well, if you're trying to learn a new language or work with people from another culture, understanding these differences is, honestly, it's a game changer. Especially for English learners, getting a handle on these cultural norms is a massive help. It's what helps you avoid those awkward little misunderstandings and really connect with people. And this quote really says it all, doesn't it? Being truly good at a language isn't just about knowing the words and the rules. Real skill, real proficiency comes when you realize that what seems like common sense to you might be totally different for someone else. It really does vary by culture. And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. A really interesting question. What other things that we think of as common sense might be totally different in another culture? It's a pretty amazing thing to think about. Thanks so much for joining me today.